Welcome to Fit for the Long Run. I'm Christy, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my 2025 health goals. Normally you would be seeing this video, it would be myself and Joel, and we would be sharing our goals together. But one of the things that we decided was maybe we would try doing where he already has his Nerdy Runner series, that he could just share all of his health goals in that series, and then I would share my health goals in a separate video, and also maybe do something that would hopefully you would find valuable, like maybe sharing some healthy recipes that I'm trying. Years ago, I started thinking about health in a different way. Instead of thinking of everything that I should delete from my diet, I instead started thinking, what can I add to? So one of the things that really makes me excited is when I try a new recipe or something new that I've never done before, that makes me excited about those opportunities to eat those things or whatever. It changes my mindset about eating when I'm like, instead of I cannot have, instead of look what I get to eat, it changes everything. So what I decided this year was one of the goals that I was going to have is every month I'm going to try some new recipes so that I can continue to find things that I really love to eat that are healthy for me as a bonus. So I am willing in the future to show those actual, like me making them, like as recipe videos. But today, since I was going to be talking about yearly goals as well as January goals, I didn't want to make the video too long, but I am going to cut in a minute and show you 2 meals that I prepped and me doing a taste test of them. I'm not showing the whole recipe. I will link those in the description because they are recipes that I got off Pinterest. They're not mine anyway. So if you want to see them, if you see what I show you and then you think, wow, I would really love to make that for myself, then check the description because that's where you can find the link to the actual recipe. The first recipe is a Mediterranean bowl. You know what, that is pretty good. Another thing that I made was some egg muffins. This will be for breakfasts. Get about 10 grams of protein for each one, but I would probably eat 2 every day plus something else to get some more protein. All right, so let's take a little bite. Oh yeah, those are really good. I highly recommend this recipe. I will have it linked down in the description. All right, I hope that you enjoyed those 2 recipes. Well, I didn't show you the recipe, none did I? But I hope that you enjoyed the taste test of the 2 recipes that I tried. And I hope that you give it consideration. Let's talk about my actual goals besides the food that I'm prepping. Let's see. As you may have noted, I talked a lot about protein while I was talking about those meals. That is one of my big goals for 2025, is to do protein first. Protein is the main star of my meals. And my goal is to get around 35 grams per meal, unless I have a snack, and then it would be 30. Anyway, my goal is to get at least 100 in a day. That is the primary goal, and as a secondary goal in 2024, while I did protein, I felt like I actually depended a little too much on things like protein shakes and stuff to get me to 100. And so what I plan to do, which if you see our grocery hauls on our other channel, The Long Run with Joel, changed our YouTube name over there. If you've seen our grocery hauls on saving money for the long run, then you know that I did buy some protein shakes just like a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sitting here saying I don't want to depend on protein shakes. But what I decided was that I was using them every single day in my coffee, and what I plan to do this year is to only use them like on days that we go somewhere like the theme parks or something, because I like getting that protein in as much as possible in the morning before we go to the theme parks. I will still eat in the parks and still get protein, but it's harder to get protein in theme parks or wherever, or when you go out to eat. Like, it's just harder to get in a certain amount of proteins without it being a little carb heavy, like a lot carb heavy. Because that's like, oh, you could get your protein in if you buy a hamburger, but I don't want to like eat a whole hamburger in a theme park because the calorie count would be like really high, right? So if I do a protein shake before I go, then I've started my bases off earlier in the day with 30 grams of protein immediately. So those are the only days that I would be depending on it. So like 1 per week, maybe 2 at the most per week. And then the rest of the days, I'm going to try to not use any type of processed protein to get me over the hump through the day. I want it to be in eggs and chicken and beef and turkey sausage or whatever. And then, you know, like other things that help, you know, like quinoa and peanuts or some other kind of nut. Like I don't want it to be something that's processed packaged like protein bars or protein shakes. I want it, and I do have some protein powders that I still have that I've been putting in smoothies, but I will also use that. All right, so then for exercise, I want to do some type of cardio every day, but mostly I want to do 4 days of weights per week. I did 30 days of weights per week in 2023 until around, I don't remember what month it was, October, November or something. I tweaked my back, which happens to me regularly because back in 2020 or 2021, sometime like that, I tripped over a laptop cord and pulled a muscle in my back. And even though most of the time I'm fine, occasionally I tweak it and that pain comes back. And so to avoid that, I had to stop to let it heal. But this time I'm going to do 4 times per week, but I'm changing out some of the exercises that I had down and am leaning more on ones that don't necessarily overuse that. Like I have 1 or 2 that will use the lower back, but not as many, because I don't want to injure myself again and have to take a couple of months off to let it heal. So yeah, I'm changing up some of the exercises. I'm gonna try to build. I'm also starting with lighter weights this time, just to make sure that I don't overdo it. And hopefully I'll build back up to where I was pretty easily. I tell you, one of the reasons why I wanted to build my strength is because we had a granddaughter born in 2023. It's our first grandchild. And I said, I want to be able to lift her up. I want to be able to carry her upstairs. I want to do like all that stuff without worrying that it's going to tweak my back. And so still working on that. And, you know, she weighs like 20 pounds now. So I got to keep working on it. I purchased this with some Amazon rewards points. This is a workout journal. You can put up your workout however you want to do it. And the only thing that I don't like about it is it's only 90 days. And it was $25, which it was totally free for me because I use Amazon rewards points. But I don't know about you, but I cannot afford to buy this every 3 months. So I am only using it on the days that I do strength training And I am not using it on days that I just do my walking with no strength training like the other 3 days of the week. So it'll last me longer than 90 days, but I could not afford to buy this every day. So I will be probably making something that looks similar to those pages and printing it on a printer and just putting it like in a notebook or something and just writing it by hand that way. But anyway, it does have a place to keep up with your measurements like that. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. And a calendar for the month. And I think there's like way more than 3 months of the monthly calendar. But after each monthly calendar is where you see your measurement thing. So you can do your measurements on there every month. But anyway, and let's see, is there anything else that I want to show you out of this book? You can put in things that you eat regularly. If you see that, I get the breakfast bowl from Chick-fil-A. Joel works for Chick-fil-A, and so he knows exactly what to order, and it's high protein. As you saw, like you may have seen that, it says 43 grams of protein. It is 2 chicken fillets, which are like half fillets, I think, and 2, I think it's 2 scoops of eggs. I'm not positive. But anyway, it equals to that and it has a little cheese in it. A little cheddar cheese is in it. It's actually, I think it's like a hash brown bowl, but I just tell them to remove the hash browns and double the fillet so that it's 2 fillets but no hash browns. Okay, so anyway, if you are looking for something healthy to eat at breakfast at Chick-fil-A, that is a good one because you're not getting all that hash browns and stuff like that in it. But anyway, I think, and then there's also a progress tracker like that. And so as you can see, I want to get 96 ounces of water, protein at 100 grams. The calorie count, I'm looking to keep it between 1,500 and 1,800. I am short, so 1,500 and 1,800 is a good count for me. I don't like to starve myself. I don't think 1,200 is sustainable for a long period of time, but for someone who's itty bitty and short like I am, keeping it between 1,500 and 1,800 is a little bit of a deficit without full-blown starvation. Okay, so doing that, and then I got the strength train 4 times a week, and also cardio, which would be the going for a walk or doing a dance YouTube video or something like that, 6 to 7 times a week. Anyway, that is all to the book, other than there are all these like stickers and stuff that they included. But I'm not really a sticker person. I don't know what I'm going to do with those. All right, so that is all the health goals. One other thing that we usually include in our videos is that we read 12 books a year. I know a lot of people read a lot more books than we do, but you know, like maybe I just don't sit down long enough to read a lot of books. I don't know, but I just don't, I take my time reading books. But anyway, a book that I'm reading for January, and I started in December, I just didn't finish it, is called The Jesus Diet. Not sure I'm recommending that book at the moment. I'm a little like, And I've asked Joel to read it to give me his opinion, and maybe after he reads it, I'll come back and let you know if I recommend this book, because that's just my opinion on that book right now, is that I don't necessarily want to recommend it. So that's why I didn't actually put a screenshot of the book on the screen. All right, and when I'm finished with that, I'm going to do what we call trash reading, which just means that it's fiction, not a personal growth book. And we usually rotate. We go with one that is nonfiction, and then we follow it with a fiction. Nonfiction, fiction. Personal development, fiction, like that. And so the one that I will be reading as soon as I'm finished with that, the Jesus Diet, is the Southern Trial. It is a series. It's like the 4th book in the series. So I'll be picking that one up to continue that series, and then we'll see where I go from there. But that is the January idea. And I will say just something that maybe a lot of people haven't ever thought of. I was reading in the AARP magazine that there was a study done that found that people who read fiction books, I don't know how to say it. Okay, if you read just nonfiction because you think it will help prevent Alzheimer's, you might not be doing yourself justice. That is good to read fiction as well. And one of the reasons why is because with a nonfiction book, you might read about something and then shut it and move on with your life. But if you read fiction, especially fiction series, it's like a thing that you have to remember so that you can follow a plot. Because if you like keep forgetting what's going on, then you don't know what's happening in the book. You lose the story. So when you read fiction, you're actually doing yourself a favor, because you're forcing yourself to think about plot lines. So if you're like thinking, oh, fiction is such a waste of time, it's just like, please don't. You may be helping your future self avoid Alzheimer's, according to this report. Anyway, that is just a little of what we have going on. I would love to know what your goals are as far as your health goals for 2025. And if you have anything special for January. I would also love to know if you have an idea what I should name these videos, because I'm not clever enough to come up with anything like the Nerdy Runner. Also, just as one little note, and I'll make this really quick, I think. If you're wondering, because I did not say a goal for weight, I don't focus on numbers on the scale, just because I've learned over the years, especially if it comes to saying it on videos and stuff, talking about numbers on the scale can just open you up to a lot of criticism. If it's not fast enough, if somebody doesn't agree with your approach, if you have a bad month and you gain a few pounds, then you have to do a video where you say, oh no, I gained a few pounds. That is none of my goal. I don't weigh on scales anyway. I base things on how I feel, what I can do. Am I strong? Is my knees hurting? Can I pick up my little Minnie, that's my granddaughter, without pain in my back or trouble carrying her? Things like that. And that's where I want my focus to be, is on what I can do and not on what a scale tells me. So I hope that makes sense. But anyway, that is the whole video. And again, let me know if you would like to see food prep, like meals, things I'll be trying in future videos. And that's going to be it for today for Fit for the Long Run. I'm Christy. Remember, it's a long run. Give yourself a little grace. Bye.